Hey guys, what's up, Cardfight here, and today I'm here with the deck profile for the Phantom Blaster Abyss Diablo deck profile. I'm going to do a pure Abyss build next time, maybe. It depends if you guys want to see it. And I'll also be doing a Blaster build with Guts Buster Dragon, but I need to get my hands on those first, so I'll see when I can get my hands on those. But right now, it's a hybrid of the Diablo stuff and the Avenger stuff. So yeah, it's pretty consistent. It's been working out for me pretty well. So I might just keep it as this build. But if you guys want to request some other builds for this deck, you can feel free to send me a message, and I'll be doing a different style of layout for my video from now on. If you guys don't like it, then feel free to leave a comment. But for now, I won't be getting too much into the effects, but I'll be giving my reason as to why I ran the card and stuff. So let's get right into the deck profile. So for the starting Vanguard, we run the new Fubao Brave, and mainly he's used to kind of us one search for a blaster unit when you're Generation Break 1. So it's a really consistent card, and Judge Bow is good, but a lot of times your opponent's going to guard those early attacks, and I like having the guaranteed unit to stride again more. So yeah. Next, we're running 4 Blaster Dark Diablos. Now, Blaster Dark Diablo is it's not really the best stride bonus out there, since you don't get stride bonus for any other cards except for Phantom Blaster Diablo. But he is quite nice, and his Generation Break 2 skill to discard any card to stride is quite handy. So late game, he's really useful. So we're running for that. Next, we're going to run 4 Phantom Blaster Abyss. This deck works pretty similar to the Sing Saver Jewel Knight deck that I posted a while ago. Sing Saver Stride deck. Basically, you're going to try to push your opponent for damage with these guys, and then you finish them off with your strides. So you can either do that, or depending on what the situation is, you might want to stride first, but we'll see. It works pretty well for me. I know I see a lot of builds out there that run a lot of non-Revenger cards, and I tried that build, and a lot of times my field gets clogged with non-revenge units, and I can't pull the effect off. So next we run 4 Blaster Dark Abyss, kind of last 1 killer card. I actually use this effect a lot more often, since he actually works really well with Diablo, Phantom Blaster Diablo, when you're still in your Revenger Vanguard. So it's nice. Next, we're running 4 Blaster Dark, mainly running him to combo with Dorint. I'm not running the new Claudius and Dorint. I'll explain why later, but for now, just notice that I play a lot of Blaster Darks in this deck. Next, I run 3 Matcha. Matcha is very strong. Kind of last 1 when you boost her. While you're Generation Break 1, you can call a Great 1 or lower unit from your deck. So she's a really good toolbox card. A lot of time you can replenish your field with her. So she's really good. And she's not a Revenger unit, so you can't eat her. But you can combo her with Phantom Blaster Dragon. So I'll tell you about that later. Next, for grade 1s, we run 4 Frontline Revenger Dorint, I think the name is. When a Blaster Dark Revenger is called in the same column, you can inflict damage. So it only works with this Blaster Dark, so running 4. Though this engine is a bit weaker than the new Generation Break 1 engine with Claudius and Dorint, it's a bit more consistent since you don't have to hit to get it off, and you don't actually need to stride first. So this build, Works well even if you can't stride, versus some other builds that rely very heavily on striding, which is understandable, but I like to have backup plans. So next, we're on 2 of the 10k attacker for Revengers. He's not very good if you ride Blaster Dark Diablo, so that's why we're running 2. But early game, he's pretty good. Pretty good 10k attacker, so. Next, we're running 2 Karens. Caron. Mainly, you're gonna use Phantom Blaster Diablo to eat her, since she counts as 2 sacrifices, but she does not work with Abyss, so that's a bit of a bummer, but it's fine. So that's why we're running 1 and 2, because you can toolbox her out pretty easily. Next, we're running 2 Trumpeters. So last 1 while you're Generation Break 1 to call a unit if you have a Blaster Vanguard, which you run all Blaster Vanguards. So there we have it. And then the other you can't call herself though, so that's a bit of a downside, but if you can call herself, then that's a bit too good. So yep, really good toolbox card. This deck is just really good at toolboxing in general, so yeah. Next, we're running 4 of the Skull Shield. The main. She's a perfect RG, but instead of unflipping damage, you can discard a card to draw a card. So she's nice to have to filter out some cards. Sometimes you might have too many Great 3s in your hand late game, and that's not very good. So use her to filter out your hand and hope to get another 10k shield or something so you can guard with it. Trigger lineup, we run 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. It's pretty important to have Revenger triggers, since if worse comes to worse, you can just eat them with Phantom Blaster Abyss. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but just in case. So with this deck, you need to think beforehand, because if the way your field ends up on your turn will affect how you play the next turn. So keep that in mind. For example, if you have a field that's full of non-Revenger units, you're probably going to go for a Stride play, while you have a field with a lot of Revenger units, you might consider going for a Phantom Abyss play, Phantom Blaster Abyss play, but you might still go for a Stride play depending on what your hand is like and something. So there's a lot of different factors you need to take into account when playing this deck. It's not as easy to play as than a pure Revenger build, but this deck is, I think it's more effective, and it can out advantage your opponent very easily, since there's so many ways you can call units and stuff with the new support. So have it. Let's go on to the Stride Zone. So we run 4 Phantom Blaster Diablo. This card is actually not as OP as everybody makes it out to be. It's a very strong card, but it's not game breaking. I mean, obviously, if your opponent has no cards in the field, then that is pretty good. But a lot of times, your opponent won't have an empty field, especially since you're playing Avengers and not Kagero. Yeah. So next, we run 2 Grim Reapers. Grim Recruiter, whatever. Grim Recruiter, yeah, that's the name, Recruiter. On hit, you can call a unit from your deck. So depending on what you have, most of the time it's going to be a Trumpeter, because Trumpeter nets you another unit, so you can get 2 units out. Before I was running Swordbreaker, so you can get that extra plus, but I find Swordbreaker isn't very good in hand when you draw into it. So in order to minimize that chance, I decided not to run it at all. Though I might run it in a pure Diablo build. So the next 2 cards to run is 1 Atmos and 1 Blizza. Obviously, I love running these 2 cards. They're pretty good. So yeah, especially late game with Blizza when you exhaust all your Shroud units. Like for example, if you have some, even if you have something like this, you just go play Blizza, flip a unit, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get plus 30k, and if they don't have a perfect guard, they're pretty boned. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Hopefully, if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to post it down below. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, I guess. This is Cardtaku, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!